हेलो दोस्तों, मेरे चैनल में आपका फिर से स्वागत है। पिछले एक पोस्ट में मैंने अनाउंस किया था कि ऑटोडेस्क के जो टेक्निकल सॉल्यूशंस मैनेजर है मिस्टर समित शेट्टी, वो अपने चैनल पे आके आपके क्वेश्चंस आंसर करने वाले हैं रिलेटेड टू ऑटोडेस्क एंड ऑटोडेस्क प्रोडक्ट्स। तो इस वीडियो के अंदर समित इसके बाद में बोलने वाले हैं कि ऑटोडेस्क क्या क्या प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफर करते हैं, उनकी क्या क्या ऑफरिंग्स है, किस तरह से आप इनके प्रोडक्ट्स को यूज़ कर सकते हो, और जनरल डाउट्स जो भी आपने पूछे थे वो एक फॉर्म में। तो होपफुली यू एंजॉय दिस वीडियो और आपको कुछ सीखने मिले। और दोस्तों, समित की जो भी इन्फॉर्मेशन है, कॉन्टैक्ट डिटेल्स है, वो मैंने डिस्क्रिप्शन में डाल के रखी है, तो आप डायरेक्टली समित को कॉन्टैक्ट कर सकते हो अगर आपके कुछ भी डाउट्स रहे ऑटोडेस्क रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए। तो so let's begin introducing you to Samit, and Samit, over to you.
Hello everyone and welcome. First of all, I would like to thank Nikhil and the entire team of Gameon for allowing me to speak on this platform and their channel, and मुझे आप लोग से बात करने का मौका मिल रहा है, so thank you everyone. My name is Samit Shetty. I'm the Senior Technical Specialist with Autodesk Media and Entertainment Division. I handle India and SAARC. And before Autodesk, I used to be a visual effects artist myself. I got an opportunity to work with most of the leading studios across the country. And Autodesk में आने के बाद मुझे इन सारे बड़े स्टूडियोज़ के साथ पर्सनली काम करने का मौका मिला है, उनके साथ उनके वर्क फ्लोज देखने का मौका मिला है, और उनसे काफ़ी कुछ सीखने का मौका मिला है जो आज मैं आप लोग के साथ शेयर करना चाहूँगा. So thank you guys for sharing your questions in advance so that I got an opportunity to collate them, और उनको काफ़ी कुछ सवाल जो सिमिलर थे उनको ग्रुप करके आज मैं आप लोग के सामने वो पेश करने वाला हूँ. Thank you. So I didn't speak much about Autodesk earlier because the first question from a lot of people is what is Autodesk. So shayad these people are new to the industry and they want to pursue their career in animation and visual effects. So Autodesk is a software company. We develop softwares for various things. आज आप जो भी कुछ अपने आसपास देख रहे हैं उनमें Autodesk का कहीं ना कुछ contribution ज़रूर है. If you're seeing a tallest building, very fascinating building, or it probably it's used, it's built using Autodesk technology. अगर आप कोई फैंटास्टिक कार देखते हैं, या कोई फ्लाइट एयरक्राफ्ट हो, या कोई मशीनरी पार्ट्स हो, सो प्रॉबली इट्स ऑल्सो डिज़ाइंड यूजिंग Autodesk टेक्नोलॉजी. एंड ऑफ कोर्स मीडिया एंड एंटरटेनमेंट, हम सब जानते हैं आजकल मीडिया एंड एंटरटेनमेंट में काफ़ी विजुअल इफेक्ट्स हैं, काफ़ी एनिमेशन है, एंड Autodesk हैज़ द लार्जेस्ट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन इन ऑल these verticals. So एनिमेशन, विजुअल इफेक्ट्स एंड गेमिंग में Autodesk 3D के माध्यम से काफ़ी पॉपुलर रहे हैं आज तक, और आगे भी रहेंगे. इट्स पॉपुलर सॉफ्टवेयर लाइक 3ds Max, माया, Mudbox, मोशन बिल्डर, ये सारे सॉफ्टवेयर्स काफ़ी सालों से रहे हैं और लोगों ने यूज़ किया है फॉर ब्लॉकबस्टर मूवीज़, गेम्स एंड विजुअल इफेक्ट्स एंड एनिमेशन. और भी कई प्रोडक्ट्स हैं लाइक आर्नोल्ड फॉर लाइटिंग एंड रेंडरिंग, शॉर्ट ग्रिड फॉर प्रोडक्शन मैनेजमेंट. सो ये काफ़ी है जिसके बारे में हम धीरे धीरे बात करेंगे आप लोगों के सामने. सो वेल, लेट्स स्टार्ट विद अनदर क्वेश्चन. काफ़ी इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चंस आप लोगों ने भेजे हैं, और आई वांट टू know about game development course and how to make a game. Okay, this I chose because it's a very important question, जिससे आगे के क्वेश्चंस और आंसर्स काफ़ी क्लियर होंगे फ्रेशर्स के लिए. सो गेम डेवलपमेंट में दो चीज़ें बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एक तो होता है कंटेंट और दूसरा होता है इंजन. For those who don't know about game development, I'll just make it very simple. कंटेंट लाइक अगर हम कोई कार गेम खेलते हैं तो कार हो, रोड हो, ट्रीज हो, इंसान लाइक कैरेक्टर्स जो गाड़ी चला रहे हैं, ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर कॉल्ड एज एसेट्स. These are content which needs to be created in any 3D software. अगर 3D गेम हो तो, अगर 2D हो तो it is a different league, but 3D हो तो these asset has to be created. So even 2D में भी उसे content ही कहा जाता है. So content creation happens in a 3D software जिसमें Max हो, Maya हो, and Mudbox हो are very popular 3D asset creation tool. Of course, it can do animation, you can do many more things, but primarily एसेट क्रिएशन के लिए ये सॉफ्टवेयर यूज़ किया जाता है, एंड देन दे मूव इट टू अ गेम इंजन. देयर आर वेरियस गेम इंजन्स लाइक यूनिटी, अनरियल एंड सो ऑन. वेरी पॉपुलर दीज वंस आर. उनमें दे सिमुलेट, दे मेक द गेम, दे प्रोग्राम इट, दे डेवलप इट. सो ये दो चीज़ बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड अगर आप कोर्स के बारे में बात करें तो देयर इज समवन हु हैज आस्क्ड दैट, दिस क्वेश्चन कम्स फ्रॉम रोशन. ही रेड समवेयर ऑन द यूट्यूब और समथिंग दैट no college in India teaches game development. It's not true, Rohan, because there are a lot of institutes which teaches game development. जैसे कि I had something in mind, like Backstage Pass is an institute. They have lot of centers across the country, and I've heard a lot about this institute, and they teach game development. There are pretty more, I guess, which is IIFA. It's in Bangalore, VIT, Bhopal University. They also teach game development. So India is big in game development now. I mean, जिस तरह से इंडिया गेम डेवलपमेंट में आगे बढ़ रही है, आई थिंक कुछ सालों में इंडिया बहुत बड़े कंट्रीज़ को भी बीट कर देगी इन टर्म्स ऑफ गेम डेवलपमेंट. सो game development का scope in India is really high, and there are a lot of places who teaches you this thing. So even if you Google and say game development courses in India, I think you should find some. So I hope it answers your question, Rohan. Let's move to the next question. Should we stick to Autodesk or should we go for any free source? All right, this question comes from Rohit. So Rohit, I'm like, Autodesk has been in the industry for more than 25 years or so. Okay, and we are the pioneers in 3D softwares, be it 3ds Max, Maya, Mudbox, and so on. We have developed it based on the need of the users, of the artists who are working in the industry. So it's okay to use free softwares for learning, because the concept of 3D remains the same. Okay, I'm not being biased anywhere. The concept of 3D remains the same. So if you want to learn, if you want to explore, it's okay to learn with free softwares. But at the end, when you want to work professionally in the industry, it's the professional tools which the organization believes in, because of the long history of the software, B, the development, the team who is developing it, the team who is listening to you while they're developing it, and of course the support, because Autodesk के पास एक सपोर्ट टीम है जो आप लोगों के क्वेरीज को सुनती है, उसको एड्रेस करती है और सोल्यूशन प्रोवाइड करती है. सो व्हेन यू आर वर्किंग इन अ प्रोफेशनल एनवायरनमेंट, इट्स ऑलवेज एडवाइजेबल टू गो विद अ प्रोफेशनल टूल, बिकॉज हर प्रोफेशनल एनवायरनमेंट में एक टाइमलाइन होता है, एक डेडलाइन होता है, जिसको आपको उस दायरे में काम करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. अगर आप उस डेडलाइन मीट नहीं करते हैं तो इट्स वेरी अनप्रोफेशनल. सो always trust a professional tool so that you can work peacefully. So I hope that answers your question, Rohit. Next question is Maya or 3ds Max, which is the best for game development? Okay, this is the common questions which a lot of people have asked, so I'll answer them together. So कुछ साल पहले तक 3ds Max was supposed to be the best game content creation tool, because game में क्या होता है कि you need to optimize the scene, you need the file size to be lighter so that game engine में जाने के बाद वो heavy ना हो. Okay, so 3ds Max was always very very good with scene optimization, low poly modeling and so on, and Maya was always good for character animation. But slowly what happened is we developed Maya also for low poly, and Maya and 3ds Max when it comes to content creation are very similar, बहुत एक दूसरे के करीब आ गए हैं. So अब it depends on an artist's comfort level. अगर कोई artist 3ds Max में काफ़ी सालों से काम कर रहा है और वो comfortable है 3ds Max में, तो he can do the same in 3ds Max also. Of course, there are a couple of things which are different in Max and Maya. I'm just talking about asset creation, not in depth. Not in animation and effects and so on. अगर कोई बंदा या बंदी माया में कंफर्टेबल है, काफ़ी सालों से काम कर रही है, तो he or she can do the same in Maya as well. Or the third factor is the organization. अगर कंपनी कहती है कि हमारा पाइपलाइन माया में है या हमारी पाइपलाइन मैक्स में है, so it would go with that. So it's okay. I mean, Max or Maya really doesn't matter. Both people have in the industry have been using both or either to create game content. Automobile, okay. Om and Nikhil has asked, sir, tell me about automobile engineering or Autodesk, using Autodesk Maya, means the scope of it. Of course, so we have CAD softwares, we have AutoCAD, we have other tools to design. Okay, so any designing which happens, it can be a construction building, it can be for AC, it can be manufacturing and all. We have CAD softwares which are used for designing, which are mostly 2D, and even if it's a 3D, it is not a photorealistic 3D. So why do people come to Max and Maya is to get a photorealistic output. I mean, लोग उस image को देखकर ये सोचते रह जाएंगे कि ये real है या 3D. It is very difficult to make out, and that is why people use softwares like Max and Maya. Designing happens in CAD softwares, then you move it to 3ds Max or Maya. So Maya is also extremely good for automobile. I would say not designing. You can model. If your designs are ready, you can just replicate the same design in Maya, and Maya has all the best tools. अगर आप the current version of Maya देखोगे 2022, जिसमें modeling के काफ़ी कुछ features add किए गए हैं, which is very simplified. So जिन चीज़ों को 4 स्टेप लगते होंगे पहले, आज वो 1 या 2 स्टेप्स में हो जाते हैं. सो Maya is also very good for automobile modeling, I can say. Of course, we have PBR shader support, we have Arnold for lighting and rendering, which makes it much more better. If you want to see some samples, you can go to the area.autodesk.com. वहाँ पे गैलरी में अगर आप जाओगे तो काफ़ी फ्रीलांसर्स हैं, जो यूज़र्स हैं, उन्होंने अपने काम को अपलोड किया हुआ है. अगर आपके पास भी ऐसा कोई काम है, so why don't you also upload your work on the area.autodesk.com and let the world see it. I'm a game tester. This is Rudra. I'm a game tester. Do you think AI is going to replace game testers in upcoming game development projects? By the way, great work. We love your products. Thank you, Rudra, for this kind words. Of course, AI is increasing. AI is everywhere. It's not just in game development. AI is being a part of our life. But even AI needs to be tested by humans before it is produced to outside the world. So AI will grow, but it will not take over humans. So obviously these games are meant for human beings. It's not meant for a machine or robots, right? So eventually to see how a game will be played by humans, what will be the user experiences, most of it a human will only have to experience it. So being a game tester, you really don't have to worry a lot. I mean, yes, there will be things which will be taken care by the AI, but as a tester you can focus more on things which needs more focus on, and produce and test it more in a detailed way. So I don't think so that's going to happen ever, but yeah, a lot of your task can be pushed to the AI. Okay, there is a student, his name is Amol, and he's saying that he wants to learn Autodesk software, and yes, of course, Amol, Autodesk software for a student who is a part of an institute is free. So they can install the softwares on their laptop or machine and practice it and so on. But as an individual, yes, it does ask you for an institute's name and ID card and so on. So if you want to learn it on your own without being a part of an institute, let me get back to you. I have your email ID, Amol, and I might get in touch with somebody from the training division and try to help you on this. Okay, there is a question from Mitesh Shetty. Mitesh says, how can we create huge maps like GTA for mobile platform at very low level size, at the most 125 MB in Maya? Okay, Mitesh, so as I said, Maya does content creation, and that content is moved to engine. Now what happens is the engine has to support heavy files, huge files. So it is very important that the engine supports the files, and hence we need to optimize the files in Maya or Max. So first of all, you need to take care that it has to be low poly, and when you create textures, it's not a point that it's not very difficult, because what you need to keep in mind is every detail has to be a part of the texture. Like for example, if the details of the modeling can also be a part of can be also done using textures, right? So it is slightly different than animation and visual effects, whereas because visual effects, even the scenes are heavy, it really doesn't matter. But for games, we need to have the file size lighter. So if a lot of detailings in the modeling can be done inside the texture and made the file size lighter, you're good to go. The game engine can handle it very easily. And of course, the second point is bake the texture properly. So if you don't know how to bake texture, there are a lot of videos on baking textures in 3ds Max and Maya. You can go through it. And the third point is focus a lot on the normal maps. If your normal maps are good, it will look really great in the game engine. So then it depends on the game engine whether you want to output it for a game, console game or mobile game or whatever. This is a basic answer. I hope you get the point. If you still have questions, you can email me and I would be more than happy to. Shivam is asking, he wants tutorials for beginners. So Shivam, we have Autodesk learning channel. If you go to the YouTube and say Autodesk Maya learning channel or Autodesk 3ds Max learning channel or Arnold learning channel or short grid learning channel, you will find tutorials from basic to advanced. So you can just go through them and try to learn. And yeah, there are tons of tutorials online from others as well. Anirudh is asking, what is the plan about Mudbox software? Will there be any update, or because they want to buy the license and just worried? So yes, Anirudh, you don't have to worry, because Mudbox is not going to stop. See, the whole point is Autodesk believes in a workflow. Okay, you might have felt that the Mudbox is in a pause, the development is in a pause. No, because whatever is needed in Mudbox is already there, and we have been updating the versions on and off, and as and when we have new tools coming in, we release it in the upcoming versions. So the development is not going to stop, the product is not going to stop. The advantage is we have a lot of advanced tools in Maya as well. So of course, when you have Mudbox, you have Maya, so you can easily push the files from Mudbox into Maya or Max and then take it from there. So it's a workflow, and you don't really have to worry about that the Mudbox tool as a tool is going to phase off. Aditya is asking, he wants to be hired because he can make best game. Anirudh, yes, keep trying, and there are a lot of game companies in India, abroad as well. Just approach them and show whatever games you have developed, and if they're impressive, they like it, they feel that you fit their bill, you will be absorbed. Aditya Sharma, Maya re-topo system is robust, very robust, but unlike other ones, Topcan or any other software, it gets quite laggy at some extent. Can we expect an improvement? So Aditya, okay, I don't know which version have you used lately. If you've used the current version, that is 2022, then I would say that it's pretty much better than what it used to be before. And if you've been a Maya guy, you've seen the development which happened in the past and new. We've added a lot of features, and we've improved a lot of features, which includes re-topo also. Re-topo used to be a tedious process in the past, I agree with you, but now from Maya 2022, it's become much more easier and faster, and people who are using it professionally have given a positive feedback. So my question is, Aditya, if you have not used the current version 2022 Maya, I would request you to try it. And if you still have questions, this is for everyone, all Maya Max users. If you have any questions, if you have any feedback, there is a forum called as Maya Ideas, 3ds Max Ideas. So these are two separate ones. If you just Google Maya Ideas, it will take you to a forum where You can post your questions, you can post your feedbacks, more than feedbacks, you can post your ideas. Like if you have some ideas and if you're comparing something with another alternative tool, you can post your ideas, and if other people across the globe read it and they like it and they vote for your ideas, it will be picked up first by the Autodesk development team. Of course, we won't guarantee when will it be ready or released, because we need to build it, we need to test it, and then only release. But yes, priority will be given to those ideas which gets the maximum amount of vote and looks doable also. So please feel free to post your ideas on Maya ideas and 3ds Max ideas. All right, Ankit asked, please share some tips regarding career path and job opportunities in game programming. All right, so Ankit, it's a very you don't have to worry about, because as I said, there are two sets of people who are in this game, entire process of game. One is the people who create contents, people who create assets, people who create textures, people who create animation, everything, and there are people who develop it or program it, right? I don't do programming, whereas they don't do asset creation. It's like that. So you can stick to the area which you like. If you like developing content, you can pursue your career that, and wherever you work, in whichever company you work, they will be having developers who can take the content and push it to the game engine to develop it. So it's not necessary that you need to know everything. If you are learning the game designing stuff, please go ahead and show your work to game companies and be a part of them, and they have people who can do the development part for you. Pseudonym, I just wanted to ask if you have a manual sort of thing from which we can learn the tools and stuff. Of course, my personal experience with animation companies has been great, so it would be awesome if you could learn the stuff ourselves only and then go to studios for our work. All right, I don't know, he's called as okay, Parth, I guess he's Parth. So Parth, if you are a fresher, if you've just learned it, it's fine, because initially what you need to learn is the tools and how to use those tools. And every company has their own pipeline, have their own workflow. So even a fresher, when he or she joins, they are trained on that company's pipeline. So it's okay to learn yourself. And if you're a good learner, if you've learned it from YouTube, if you learned it from Google, if you learned it from various other freelancers who have posted their videos, and if you create a good show reel and present it to a company, if they like it, they will take a basic test just to make sure that the show reel belongs to you, and then they will train you on their pipeline, which is another learning curve. So it's always like whatever we learn from an institute, from ourselves, there's always another level of learning when you join a studio or a game company or any of these organization. So make sure you are prepared for another level of learning also. So that's absolutely good. Okay, this is the last question before I end, and it's going to be going to use Arnold in Cinema 4D, but there is no any dim tutorials on this. Okay, this is Debanga Datta. So Debanga, there are a lot of tutorials online available for Arnold for Cinema 4D. What I would suggest is go through the Arnold learning channel in Autodesk or YouTube channel. Secondly, you can also go and visit a YouTube channel. He's a very famous look dev artist and worked in all leading international production houses. His name is Arvid. I would try to put his link below this video. So he has a lot of tutorials on Arnold for Maya, for Max, for Houdini, for Cinema 4D as well. So I would recommend, Debanga, you visit this channel and all the other channels, and you'll definitely find a lot of resources there. All right, guys, so one last question. A lot of people, I mean, like, not lot, 3 people have asked, why is Maya so expensive? Guys, yes, I agree, there is a price attached to everything, because when it's free, it's not valued that much. We always value for something which we have paid for. And of course, there are a lot of development which happens in these popular softwares. There are a lot of developers, and you know that developing and development is not an easy task. It's a tedious task because you need to develop first, you need to test it first, and there are a lot of resources which goes behind a development. So ऐसे सॉफ्टवेयर्स को डेवलप करने के लिए भी बहुत मेहनत लगता है, बहुत टाइम लगता है, बहुत रिसोर्सेज लगता है और पैसा भी लगता है. वी मेड श्योर दैट a person who purchases Maya gets the best out of the Maya software itself. इसलिए if you've seen Maya can do modeling, Maya can do texturing, animation and lighting. So lighting के लिए हमारे पास हमने Arnold जो टूल है, जो इसके पहले जिसमें मैं बात कर रहा था, उसको एक्वायर किया है. सो इट इज़ इंडस्ट्रीज बेस्ट ट्रस्टेड टूल, एंड उस टूल को हमने बाय डिफ़ॉल्ट माया के अंदर डाल दिया है फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट. सो दैट्स एन एडिशनल ROI विच कम्स फ्री विद इन माया. सेकेंडली, एफेक्ट्स के लिए लोग दूसरे सॉफ्टवेयर पे डिपेंड करते थे, एफेक्ट्स एज एन पार्टिकल्स, फायर, स्मोक एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स, जिसके लिए लोग थर्ड पार्टी टूल्स के पास जाते थे, उनमें पैसा इन्वेस्ट करते थे. Whereas we rewrote the tool called as Bifrost in Maya. Bifrost was an old tool जिसको हमने वापस से रीराइट किया एंड माया के अंदर फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट रखा, जो ना कि बस बट इफेक्ट्स के लिए, सिर्फ इफेक्ट्स के लिए, बट इट्स ऑल्सो यूज्ड फॉर मॉडलिंग, फॉर क्रिएटिंग टेरेन्स, फॉर क्रिएटिंग अ होल सेट ऑफ थिंग्स which otherwise would have not been possible. And Bifrost is procedural node based tool, very simple to use by an artist also. So ये सब चीज़ें जब एक सॉफ्टवेयर के अंदर आती हैं तो obviously there will be a cost attached to it. Of course, when you're working in a production environment, when you're working for a professional studio, they do need a professional tool to be dependent on. And when you have support, when you have all these kind of things available, so there will be a cost attached to it also. So guys, thank you so much for your time, and it was great reading all your questions and answering them. I hope I answered most of your questions, and hopefully I would like to hear more from you guys. Let us know how did you like it. If you have some more questions, you can drop your questions on the comment box, or you can write it to me personally. My email ID will be posted below this video. So thank you so much guys, thank you once again, and thank you Nikhil and the entire team of GameOn once again. Bye bye, be safe.
सो दैट्स इट फॉर दिस वीडियो दोस्तों. आई होप आपको इस वीडियो से काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें सीखने मिली होगी और आपके सारे क्वेश्चंस आंसर हुए रहेंगे. अगर आपको ये वीडियो पसंद आया तो एक लाइक बटन प्रेस कर दीजिए. मेरे चैनल को पहली बार ढूंढ रहे हो तो सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और वो बेल आइकन दबा दीजिए ताकि आप मेरे अगले वीडियोस को मिस नहीं कर पाओ. मैं गेम्स और गेम डेवलपमेंट रिलेटेड काफ़ी सारे वीडियोस बनाता हूँ. इस वीडियो के लिए इतना ही. मैं मिलता हूँ आपको मेरे अगली वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए अपना ख्याल रखना.